dirty sock of yours?
I don't know. Hello, I'm Gina, and the BBC think I'm so fantastic at presenting that they've used the latest technology to create me as sidekick. Hey, it's Mr. Stinkerton Sock. Hello, Mr. Stinkerton Sock. Oh, how you doing? Good. What's that? You think I'm so funny that I should put a sock in it? Oh, you're hilarious. What's that? You want to introduce one of the comedy shows that I stole, found lying around while I drink a glass of water? You want to speak? Okay, let's do it. Oh, I'm a genius. It's life in the underpass.
Okay, and action. At the last count, the number of different kinds of creatures on the planet came to 500 trillion, 97 billion, 46 million, 65,403. Make that 2. Ish. All different from a beautiful black swallowtail butterfly to a Vietnamese potbelly pig. Oops, that's my granny back in Dublin. Be great if they all got along. But there's always going to be those who look down their nose at others. Some just because they think they're well hard. Although I wouldn't advise you to say that to his face. Do you see what I mean? Shane Matthews. Although not as evolved and as the rest of his prime mates.
The Flanagan hurt himself. Oh. Maybe the cameraman can stop filming and help his star presenter up.
You Fruit Loop.
Although I felt like a topi being chased by a deadly hyena, my topi bacon was about to be saved by something stronger, faster, and more ferocious. Well, Billy Rafters.
All right, Kev. Cheers for keeping me place, Wong. Shane, boys, I'll be with you in a mo. Then you can start thumping the living daylights out of me. Just let me take my specs off. Right.
Rafters?
Who said that?
What are you doing?
Just let me put my best foot forward. I wouldn't go charging into my belly if I were you. You go catapulting off the estate.
Billy, what'd you go and do that for? Doing yourself down like that?
Let me see. They're about to mush you.
I could have stood up for myself.
They had you pinned to the floor. Stood up is what you couldn't do. Look, Kev, you're a bug freak.
I want to be a natural history filmmaker when I grow up.
Bug freak. Look, there are 2 types in this world. The flies that, let's face it, have no use whatsoever, apart from being splattered.
Actually, if it wasn't for flies and maggots, we wouldn't be able to move for dead animals.
Like I said, no use whatsoever. And there's the other type, the rolled-up newspapers of the world, waiting to splatter flies like us. I can't help being a fly. I mean, my leg, my weight, my asthma, my glasses, might as well have splat me now written across my back. But you could pass and all if you didn't talk to yourself while filming. And as for, well, I can't even bring myself to say it.
What, that?
Don't say it.
That?
No.
That David Attenborough's my dad?
You have to keep saying it, don't you?
What's wrong with that?
Because he's not. Not really. And even if you think it, keep it in here. You might save yourself from being laughed at and from being splattered.
Kevin, school, hurry up! Maybe Billy's right. Maybe I am my own worst enemy. Maybe I inherited it from my parents, my mum, and my fake dad. Maybe you don't have to be related to inherit stuff. Maybe I should stop saying maybe. My mum, she's got these problems. And it was kind of driving my fake dad crazy.
Okay, now remember, whatever happens, just keep pushing. Right.
She's acrophobic. It's quite simple, really. Some people are afraid of spiders. Mum's afraid of open spaces.
Okay, that's enough.
And spiders.
I said that's enough. Maybe next time.
Yeah, right.
Unlike my mum, my sister Dee can't get out of the flat quick enough.
Well, if they ain't the lovely Deirdre Flanagan. So what'd you say? About you and me?
Your teeth better not have broken my bag.
There was only one place she was happiest, and that is here. Far enough away from the madness back home and going nowhere at school. Although it wasn't only the Bunkers Hill estate and the school she looked down on, it was anything that reminded her of them, especially me.
Hey, Daddy! My bag!
Although today was different.
Excusez-moi pendant un moment, Mademoiselle Flanagan. Je voudrais avoir un mot rapide avec toi.
See? Okay, Mademoiselle Boyce.
Vous devez parler en français.
Okay, Mademoiselle Boyce.
Très bien. Alors, je voudrais que vous rencontriez Kisha. Elle est nouvelle à notre école.
Oh, great. Ah, bon.
Kisha est récemment entrée dans le secteur. Son père a transféré à notre hôpital local. Il est un chirurgien. Il est un chirurgien. Il est un chirurgien.
Mauvais?
Finally, someone at school she didn't look down on. Our head, Mrs. Thurman, or Irma as we called her, could only look down on us all, especially me. I know you think I'm being paranoid, but I'm not.
I don't trust that boy. Kevin Flanagan. He's...
Challenging?
no. Weird.
Call it intuition.
And you won't tell anyone my dad's a surgeon, will you?
No, of course not. So what does your dad do? He's a doctor too.
It's embarrassing, isn't it?
Tell me about it.
Heidi!
All right, Dave.
Do you know those two? Them? Never seen them before in my life.
Mark my words, Mr. Douglas. Don't give them an inch, or whatever the metric equivalent is these days. You'll soon learn these things. That's when you'll really qualify as a teacher.
You don't need to go to the Amazon forest to see nature stuff, which is just as well because I can't even afford to go into town on the bus most times. That is boring classroom. Sorry, Mr. Douglas. Sorry, Uma. Apart from this old gorilla, it's a very shame. You would think nature would run a mile from here. But if you look closer, an Homo cestus viridulus, or a grasshopper to you and me, all told across the world, they're known for being pretty chilled, but the Melanopus differentialis, the North American grasshopper, if it gets really hungry, then millions of them hang out together and kind of go wild, and that's when they become locusts. It's like one day they're good, quiet boys, the next they get a hoodie for Christmas, hang around shopping centres, and hate everyone. Wah! And that's as far as I got.
Kevin, that is...
Challenging.
It's brilliant. And I'm not just saying that to be condescending like they teach you at teacher training.
I wasn't going to tell him I didn't have a clue what condescending meant.
And you film at home as well?
Well, yes, but without the camera. We can't afford one, so I pretend.
You're even more of a natural than I thought.
Really? I get that from my dad.
Don't say it.
David Attenborough.
You have to keep saying it, don't you?
He's my dad.
You know, I used to tell everyone that Gary Lineker was my dad.
And is he?
Yeah, well, look, I shouldn't be doing this. Promise me you won't let it out of your sight, because Mrs. Thurman, she will kill me. But you need to get out there, Kevin, even if it's just for one day. Experience what it's like to film without being attached to that. There you go.
It was like I've been filming tigers and elephants and apes for the BBC's Natural History Unit all this time. And now, I got a chance to take the lens cap off. And this is for you, Des. You know who you are. Someone else whose day was taking a turn for the better was Billy.
Cool!
Uh-oh.
Hey, Shane, guys. I guess you'll be wanting these, yeah? Spot them today. I'll take that as a yes.
We haven't come for your stupid sweets.
Yeah, I've been meaning to give them up as well.
So, do you fancy, you know, sort of joining us? You know, me and the lads.
It may not sound like it, but that is the sound of sheer joy. If I'm not mistaken, that calls for his green puffer. Told you. Billy, how could you even think about joining them Pond Life rejects after all the things they've done to you and me?
Guys!
Guys!
I haven't joined them yet. I've got to prove myself. I'm sort of on a trial.
You will be in the magistrate courts.
You said I made him laugh.
They're bullies. Laughing at the likes of me and you is what they do for a living. I thought a smart person like you would know that.
No one's ever asked me to join anything before, apart from the asthma club. Oh, and my mum wants me to go to Weight Watchers with her. This way, I'll finally get a shot at being a rolled-up newspaper, instead of a fly splattered all over it.
My dad, my fake dad, didn't mind being splattered all over a newspaper. He's trying to shame the council into going green. You know, banning cars and stuff. Although he's really got an eye on grabbing the record for the longest local protest as well. 37 days down, 1,702 days to go.
Kevin. Did you ever think your old man be famous, huh?
So, Dad, you and Mum, you know, her living there, you living here. What's that all about?
It's not about anything, son. We're still very much together. Apart. I've got something very big to do here, son, you know. Although nothing's more important in my family, you know that, Kevin, son, now, don't you? It's hard to explain, but I'll always know when you need me, son.
Oh, no. Why did I start this? I feel a lecture coming on.
Look up there, son.
Yep, thought as much.
The earth is choking to death, son. This area alone has the highest rate of childhood asthma in the world. It's appalling.
He's right, of course.
Come in.
Excuse me, miss. I've lost my blue inhaler. She's been handed in.
It's right to be worrying about the destruction of the earth. I mean, soon, some of the birds we take for granted will be gone. Already the polar... OK, lads. Very funny and all that, but have the camera back now, please.
Camera? I don't know what you're talking about, Flanagan. Unless you mean your imaginary camera.
As I stood there, it hit me. Even creatures who you wouldn't think of as fierce will only put up with so much before fighting back. Mr. Douglas, he's gonna kill me. As I was trying to figure out a way to stop Mr. Douglas's trust in me going the way of the stolen camera, Dee was putting her trust in Keisha and all she represented.
And my mum's a lawyer. Yawn, yawn, yawn. Can you think of anything more dull?
I know. It looks like we've come to the end of the road.
Well, I live up there.
Really? Well, I live over there somewhere.
great, just around the corner. So do you fancy coming round to mine and, like, hanging out? Yeah. But aren't you going to ask your mum if it's okay?
Oh, yeah, of course. Silly me.
The mobile phone you're using is out
Mum,
of credit.
me, I'm going round with friends. Yeah. So I'll be home later for tea. Or supper even.
The mobile phone you're
No,
using is
I love you too, Mummy.
Press 1.
She says great, let's go.
Dee was now suddenly caught by a Hickmania troglodyte. A spider, to you and me. But not just any spider. This one's web is like silk. And you just know that unlike him, Dee isn't going to be in any hurry to be rescued. I hadn't slept a wink all night, what with worrying about the camera and stuff. So I decided to take the bull by the horn, which actually isn't half as easy as it sounds.
Right.
Still not found your camera, Flanagan?
Come on, Shane. You're a reasonable boy.
No, I'm not.
It's actually quite reasonable for you to say that.
It's not even my camera. I shouldn't have taken it home in the first place. So, come on, please, have it back.
So let me get this straight. You're accusing me of something you shouldn't have even had in the first place. Sounds like you're the one with the sticky fingers, not me.
Do you mind if I just...
Prove yourself. On Flanagan. Good idea. Brownie points for initiative.
Look, I know this looks bad. Duh. I know he's fuck number one, but I don't think he took it. Stealing a camera, that'd be huge. You heard me, friend or no friend. I know you've got sweets, hand them over.
Have you had too much of your inhaler or something?
All right, I'm shallow and needy, but I want to be in his gang, because it's cool. I ain't perfect, Kev.
I can't believe you're doing this, Billy. Swapping teams at half-time isn't going to make you a winner. In fact, the way I see it, it's worse than scoring an own goal. And I don't even like sports.
It's still me. I'm still lovable, cheeky Billy. I'm not even taking your sweets. Here, take these. There's loads more in there anyway.
There was only one thing left to do. Own up. I know he'd be disappointed, but Mr. Douglas was pretty reasonable. Pity Uma wasn't.
You let him take home what? It's probably on eBay by now. When I get hold of that Kevin Flanagan, he's gonna wish he was one of those bugs of his.
As I snuck out early with stomachache, Dee was racing to catch up with Keisha.
Hey, Keisha. Hey, Dee. Oh, my mum said I can come round to yours after school and hang out there if I want. How great is that? Yeah, great.
If I thought things couldn't get any worse.
Oh, no. I've just had that Homer on the phone. Tell me it's not true. Tell me you didn't steal that camera, strip it for parts and flog it on eBay.
I didn't! Who did I think I was kidding? That it was in my genes to be the next David Attenborough. I mean, he hasn't even replied to any of my letters.
I'll get a stamp and get that poster for you, love, don't you worry.
Thanks, Mum.
Dee, would you be a love and post this letter for Kevin? It's very important.
Yeah, whatever.
Right. I'm going up to that school to have it out with that Homer.
It's okay.
It's not okay, Bet. It's really not okay. But it will be.
She may not have been able to leave the flats, but she wasn't going to let that stop her.
Patrick!
In the wild, a call to arms is all it takes to bring a family together.
I'll go to yours after
And on the Bunkers Hill estate, it wasn't any different.
There's an emergency at home. I've got to go. But I didn't hear your mobile. It was a text. A silent text.
Family first, Patrick.
I'll hold the fort, Dad.
Ah, thanks, love. You're a good.
Look, you give me your sweets, because I'm a bully. And I'll give you these sweets, because I'm a lovable, cheeky bully. A bit like Robin Hood, only I'll take from the poor and give back. To the poor. I didn't say I was perfect.
Meanwhile, Billy's determination to be accepted as a bully came at a price.
You hear me? Hand them over, and the rest. Ow! I warned you, didn't I? Take that. Hey, Shane. Guys?
It was left to my fake dad to have a quiet word with Uma.
How dare you?
Mr. Flanagan!
How dare you accuse my son of stealing a school camera? I didn't bring up my child to be some light-fingered tearaway. Now, the Flanagans are law-abiding keepers of the peace. Do you hear?
Yes, Mr. Flanagan.
While my mum and my fake dad had a quiet word about me.
Well, it's your fault he's like this.
Fuck me. That's rich coming from you. You're the one putting ideas in the boy's head. Oh, you're a naturalist, Bugs and Phil Malarkey, Kevin's son. It must be in your genes.
I was encouraging my son.
Yeah, to get a warped sense of who he's not. I know.
The door's open.
How do you think I feel, the lad not thinking I'm his real dad?
Well, maybe if you weren't stuck in a tent all day being a better daddy to the environment than you are your own son.
Don't knock the protest. The earth is choking.
Oh, it's choking, yes, we all know that. That's right. And it's no wonder why with the amount of hot air coming out of your pipes.
Very striking when you sit as close to an orangutan as this to see how similar they are to human beings. We are both, of course, great apes. But
how long's that war been going on for?
I'd say 11 years.
Kev, you need to snap out of it. This ain't going to help bring the camera back. Turn that off and come with me. Oh, yeah, and bring one of your really disgusting bugs.
Him. So not him. Oh, Mum, why do we have to go to some boring exhibition anyway? Yawn. D? D?
As the saying doesn't go, if you can't beat 'em and you can't join 'em, try outsmarting 'em.
Oh, look who it is. The Bunker Hill Estate's very own superheroes. Dumbo and Dumboa. Let me guess. The bat signal's gone. I should have known you just as nutso as each other.
What? Looks like a harmless worm, doesn't it? Bit fatter.
Just like you.
And a bit deadlier.
Yeah. It's an Ematini worm, better known as a gut worm. It looks harmless, but when it gets really annoyed, it spits out a deadly poison that mutates into hundreds of disgusting pieces before eating its way into your flesh, especially your insides. And then... Smash!
Don't want that carrot back by the end of the day, or you'll find one of these babies in your locker. You don't want to get them stuck in your swimming trunks.
The worm has finally turned.
You could just put your mother's sissy way.
You are so weird.
Dee found herself backed into a corner as well.
Dee, I don't get what you're doing in this tent.
And maybe it was a Bunkers Hill Estate thing. So she did what she does best. She came out fighting.
OK, so I don't live on no fancy street. I live on the Bunkers Hill estate. My mum's stuck indoors, my dad lives in a tent protesting about the environment, and I've got no credit on my mobile.
I don't believe it. I'd heard about the Bunkers Hill estate even before we moved to the area. I can't believe I've got a friend who lives on the Bunkers Hill estate.
Wicked!
Sorry about the cramped space.
Even Keisha's mum, who it turned out was a lawyer for Greenpeace, was impressed, but not as much as Dee was with herself. Oh, and a new friend.
This is so cool. It is quite, isn't it?
Things were finally starting to look up for us Flanagans. Although things were looking a bit too up for some.
Kevin!
The most common word. Shane insisted it wasn't him who left the camera on the doorstep. But I'm not so sure. And until I get my own camera, I think I'll stick to this. After all, it's what's going to get me out of here and into the real jungle. It will happen. I know it. Or I'm not.
No! Don't say it!
Well, you know who.
Kevin, will you be a love pet and get the post?
Dear Kevin, sorry I haven't replied to your letters. Been busy filming in Africa and stuff. We'll be in touch soonish. Love, you know who.
Not again.
I just knew my real dad secretly cared. Now, all I need to do is find him.
Welcome back, but I've got some sad news for you. Mr. Stinkerton Sock had a horrible accident with a washing machine. But it's okay, we've now got his non-identical twin brother, Mr. Cleanerton Sock. How you doing, Mr. C? Excellent, how you feeling? Ha! You're feeling clean! Oh, Mr. Cleanerton's feeling clean!
Stick your hand in me again, and I'll give you verrucas.